What is up, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Let's Talk Toys. As always, I am your host, Dave Wonder, and tonight I am joined by a very awesome individual who you have seen on many different streams, and you have seen at many different toy shows, and has made many awesome things. I am joined tonight by the one and only Ace from Ramen Toys. We're going to talk all things Musk, bread car. We'll bounce around, I'm guessing, but you know me. Might be representing something, but might be not representing something. You never know. But we'll be diving in here in just a moment. I really want to give a shout out to all the COJ already chiming off in the chat. We got Sci-Fi George coming in first. What's up, dude? What's up, Esteban? How's it going, Fortnite? We got Kevin O'Bing, Tio Mike in here. Nick, how's it going? What up, Shakes? How's it going? Ninth, JB in the house. Winterstar as well. Pendercast, Jamie Lynn, what's going on, man? We got Luis. Who else we got? We got too much new toys. We got Darth. What up, Darth? Shaggy come in with those sweet emotes. We got Skew Raider in here as well. Northern Nomad, Chris, Paisano, what's up, dude? How's it going? Legend Collector. Oh man, it just keeps on trucking. Jesus, what up, Dave? I got an awesome pickup today. The NECA First Turtle Black and White. Very cool. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome conversation, folks. So I'm going to kick it over to Ace to do a little intro for himself. Very excited to have you here today, sir. Welcome, Ace from Ramen Toys. What's up, man?
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for the introduction on it, and good morning on my side to all who are watching on the stream right now. Of course, it's good evening for you guys. So I am. My name is Noel Lee, and I'm from Singapore. They call me Ace because, well, it's a nickname, and because my eBay ID is Black Aces, hence the short form name. That's Ace. You learn something new every day. So yeah, we started Ramen Toy with my partners in Singapore back in 2021. Just a year after COVID hit, and it's been onwards ever since. So yeah, back to you, Dave.
Hell yeah. Welcome, dude. This is a conversation that's been a long time in the making. We've been talking about this for a minute. And I'm so excited to finally get you on here to have a little bit of convo. So also, before we get going, I'll say COJ a lot on the stream. The COJ are the fine folks that are hanging out in the chat in there. Back when I started this channel, about the same time you started Ramen Toys, I said at the end of the day, I don't know what to call you because we're just a group of jackasses talking about toys on the internet. And they said, that's not fancy enough. So I said, fine, we're a consortium of jackasses talking about toys on the internet. So the COJ was born. So I apologize if I use that shorthand. I always give a little explanation just because it sounds weird if I don't. But Paisano says, shout out to COVID for bringing us Ramen Toys. Ace is looking good, right? So, like I said, what we're here to talk about tonight is something that you debuted, I believe, summer of 2023, if I remember correctly, the M.U.S.K. I'm wondering, can you just kind of give us a little rundown? I'll kick it over to a couple images so you can give a little explanation of the story behind it, man, if that's okay. Actually, I'll kick it over to the OG images, which I think were your renders. But here we go.
All right.
This
so
is
yeah. Yeah, so I actually met you, Dave, at PowerCon last year.
Yep, right? Which is wild. That's already more than a year.
So, well, just slightly more than a year, a month more. So, yeah, before going to PowerCon, I believe NECA has announced the sewer layer. Yep. And at a point of time, honestly, I paid no attention to the product because it's a sewer layer, right? It's not something that I would do. And when I was at PowerCon, I actually saw them put out the actual product in the flesh, and I was able to examine it a little bit. I noticed that on the side, it was showing the back of a wall, so it's not covered.
Yeah.
And it was at a price point where I heard many chatter online that it's a little bit expensive. So again, my brain got going again, and I thought to myself, let's challenge and try to see what the real price is. Granted, again, like I said many times, they are a bigger corporation. They have higher overheads. They have a license to pay. So all that in mind, I took that in mind when I was doing the costing, so that when I got my own prices out, obviously all the fans and collectors involved must understand that if you add those other amounts or monies on top of that, then you probably get another bigger price. Anyways, long story short, I got going on a concept design, which was first helped by Renders FX. Ryan. We also met him at PowerCon. So a great up and coming sculptor who helped me to just conceptualize the sewer. But of course, my resident sculptor Julian took it from there to create what you see on the screen right now. And that was the basis of a prototype, right? A not a prototype, a concept image. A
Yeah,
concept image we later uh, used to develop the prototype, because an image that the artist draw doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be production ready.
yeah.
There's
Doesn't always translate.
yeah, there's something that the artists do that we don't really. It might be too expensive to execute to the T. So we made some changes here and there, and then finally we came up with a prototype that I displayed on a live stream with 3POA with Addon Toys back last year. I think it was maybe around October. I think
Yeah, it was right
maybe
at the
yeah,
beginning of
around there.
fall, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
Yep. And I was actually trying to get it out as soon as possible, because obviously people are also anticipating the release of the sewer layer. And then those who, I'm actually trying to do it for the people who decide that they are not getting the sewer layer. So I thought that was
yeah,
a market that I could explore. So we did the prototype, everything. Of course, there were concerns about the top section, maybe bowing, right? Bowing,
yeah,
sagging, etc. So I thought, okay, let's put it to the real test. Let's actually do the molds that is going to be ABS for this section, because
yeah,
again, all the prototypes are done with 3D printed materials, and 3D printed materials are not sturdy like the real
yeah. They're
ABS, or soft like the real PVC. So what I did was I put the project on hold a little bit, and we tooled the horizontal parts, right? So for the top, you'll be the asphalt road section. For the
yep,
bottom part, it will be like the concrete sewer section, right?
yep,
So I did that, and then I showed a simple video of a ramen racer on top of it, and it shows that it's really solid. Of course, the secret sauce actually is that we had steel beams underneath. So there's two steel beams. No, there is, yeah. So this is part of production and manufacturing.
yep,
You do it and you test it out. If it's
yeah.
not good enough, you have to improvise it. So even with the ABS part, it sags a little bit. So we improvise it, and,
And you can see
put two, yeah,
are
two
those the
steel
rods?
bars, exactly, two steel
Yeah,
rods. All right. So that is the secret sauce that helps to get the top section really good. But again, I'm offering this as a combination, right? It's not, you don't have to take the whole thing if you
yep,
can't, master it, or accept it. You can get the street section by itself. You
yeah,
can get the sewer section by itself. You can have the street and sewer together, and then we call it the mask. And then I thought, why don't just extend it all the way to Julian's entire concept and call it the Super Mars, right? So
yeah.
the street section by itself, if you buy it and put it onto your table, you don't need any support rods, because the
Mhm.
table itself is going to give you plentiful of
Oh
good
yeah,
structural support. If you buy the sewer section by itself, you don't even need anything, because that's what you want, the so-called shoebox with 3 walls, and that's it.
hmm,
So the only test comes in when you put this on top of the other, and it creates the mask. And then we solved it by actual ABS plastic, and then steel rods at the bottom. So that is pretty much a story of how we got started. And along the way, of course, we hit a hiatus, which I must emphasize, because we were sort of played out by the people that were doing the project for us by 3D modeling. Because
yeah,
why? Once I had the tool parts done, the rest of my prototype will not fit. So I had to
yeah,
make sure everything else fitted my tool part. I got to redo the 3D print for those, which is what I have now. And I
yeah,
have it now because we changed a vendor to make that 3D thing. So, life, this is what happens along the way. It's just
yeah.
like you
But
trust this guy to make your renovations for your house, but along the way, something happened. There was like you discover that the guy's not doing the work, and then you change the guy. So
yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
and like one of the cool things, like legitimately, since you announced this, it was uh it was always something that I was very excited for. I'm a huge collector of a few lines that might utilize this quite well. So it was one of those things of seeing the modularity too is something that's amazing. I remember at PowerCon, you were saying that there were some rumblings online. There were a lot of rumblings there on the floor as well. And that's no shade at my buds over at NECA. It's just that thing of it's what happens. People talk. The collecting community is a very vocal one, whether it be with their wallets or it be online. But this has been something that's been so fun to watch grow. And also as a concept, this is something that we really haven't seen on the market, as far as a truly modular set that you can buy piecemeal. One cool thing I noticed just now that popped into my head is High School Creations did a Kickstarter called Wall XD
Yes,
not too long ago, and I'm kind of staring at this going, I wonder if I could make this into a whole friggin' building with that thing up top. Um, but you solved the I mean, it seems like it would be a simple fix, but that those steel rods reinforcing that street scene is huge. Because yeah, the topper for that NECA street scene, I believe, is just a thick foam core.
foam
Like I
board.
think
Yes.
if they would have used like a coroplast or not a coroplast, a gator board or something that would have had a little bit more tensile strength, it would have made all the difference. But I have a couple friends who have been stacking their scenes, and you hear that crash in the middle of the night and go,
Oh,
well, it's either a robber or the street scene is no more. So this has been such a cool feat to see in the just in the collecting community, because you're providing something that a lot of people have been asking for a lot of years. I mean, that's kind of I feel like that's Ramen Toys niche in the industry, though, because there was a certain red car with gull wing doors that was an absolute dream. There have been all these products that you guys have produced and are producing that are coming up, that are just blowing things out of the water. I know right now you have the pre-orders up for the various bread cars, the
mhm.
the vans and such. So I know those are bigger vehicles. Do you think those will those fit on the Musk? Will those be able to sit on the street scene? I just don't know the depth.
Well, yeah. So what you see there in the picture right now is a section of the road,
Yep.
and we've gotten some comments from collectors that the pavement is a little bit too narrow.
Yeah.
So what happens for this to be too narrow is because the road actually fits the ramen racer. So
Oh, okay.
that particular width fits the ramen racer, and it will fit the bread car, which we now call the rev, right?
For sure. Sorry, that's
So,
my
but
bad.
yeah, but if folks want a broader uh, pavement
Yeah,
walkway, we have already taken that into consideration, and we will devise a walkway that is wider. So when you have that wider part installed, then you wouldn't have any space for the car, but it might be a setting that the person wants without any vehicles, just
for sure.
more uh, walkway space for figures. So that is definitely something that we have already taken into consideration, and we will make a option part that we will obviously announce later, because this whole set comes with all these parts shown. It
Yep.
is not going to have extra bigger walkways, because that adds to the cost, and we
Yep.
are pretty much already tied down to the cost. We've already mentioned it. This whole set is 299.95,
Which is
and then the
amazing.
rest of it, as I've mentioned also in Instagram, I don't have the numbers at the back of my head right now, but I definitely know this whole thing is under 300. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, the crazy thing is like I wasn't knocking it. I just didn't know the dimensions on the rev. But
Oh, no worries. Yeah.
it's that funny thing too of I'm just throwing it out there. There's a few of those rev versions where they might park on the curb. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
BA gets something in his craw. I'm just saying. Oh man, lots of love coming in too. Makes a great secret layer for all sorts of things. Just got the Marshall, and it's a great figure. Ace and Ramen Toys killed it. Coming in from Josh Brown. Can't wait to get the recoil in my hands. Looking forward to the Ramen Racer or Razor. Sorry. And I'm thinking secret government agency safe house. I mean, I think that's the cool thing though, is you're providing something that isn't tied to a license. So It's not, necessarily like, oh, it has to be this.
Mhm.
You're providing the toys for what they need it to be. They need to be not well, they need to be played with. You need to be able to throw a little imagination into it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess I know that you ran into a couple problems, and you were already talked about a few of those. What do you think was the biggest challenge when you were conceptualizing this for a playset?
Well, the biggest challenge is how to ship it. You
That's
know,
fair.
yeah, how to ship it and how to assemble it in a way that is not too complex for the average collector. Because again, if you look at what's in the market, there's nothing quite like this where you actually have to. You look at the street. It's all you can see the comment the sections, right? it's all
Yep.
it's all one rectangle, two rectangles, it's all there. So how do we put this together? Because we have like little jigs at the bottom that you screw on. You actually
Okay.
requires a real screws to screw it on, right? Otherwise it will not be as secure. But then again, if it's tight enough a fit, again we will look iron all this out during the production phase.
Yep.
If it's tight enough a fit, you might not even need the screws, but the screws always add that added security and peace of mind. So everything is
For sure.
screwed on, and the even the street section that goes on top, there is going to be pegs that actually anchor it into place, especially the corners
Oh,
that you
okay.
see there, right? So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the centerpiece is well positioned because of the weight by physics, but the corners on the left and right, it's a little bit coming up, but those will be secured
Yep.
with some anchor points. So
And
yeah, we consider all these things, how to pack it, how to make sure that when it's dismantled, it's not too overwhelming for the collector to like put it together. It's more like an IKEA sort of thing.
yeah.
IKEA, if you get a little furniture, this is in fact a little furniture, right?
Yeah.
You'll get the parts, you'll get some instructions, you'll get some screws, you put it together, and that's it. So once it's together, obviously it's going to be human nature hard to take it down, but you
Yeah.
can take it down if you want to. And
I
then if you don't want to install certain pieces, you can opt to do that. The only limitation is that the walls coming out this way is one piece,
Yeah.
right? So you can't really make it shorter. So the 16-inch depth is by virtue of the wall depth or the width of the wall, but everything else you can actually have it if you need to. So it's up to your imagination. In fact, I think that some collectors will even show me how to make it even better.
Oh,
Put it together in
undoubtedly.
a better. Definitely, it's amazing.
I think that's the fun thing about, especially with stuff like this. I mean, this is okay. It's not a blank canvas because you've already very artistically put together a beautiful street scene. But the cool thing is that there's so much room for customization and for folks just to go ham on it. I like I said, I'm a customizer. I like to fiddle and make stuff look very individual, very unique. So like I'm already looking at this going, oh, I can tag some of those walls. I can throw up some paste ups. I can throw, like I can make it look a little bit more New York, if you will. But I think the cool thing is there's so much that you'll see from the community coming into this to make it, like you said, make it better, and also to show you how to improve if there is room for it. I mean, I think if there's not room for improvement, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Because if you nail it on the first try and it's perfection, bravo, you're the first
Yeah,
person to ever do that.
yeah.
But oh, Shaggy says I want to put some cool graffiti on those walls, and it's looking really great. Also, Ramen has a few tanks coming too. Also very true.
Yeah.
For you folks collecting those military lines out there. Oh man, there's Tony. Ace, thank you for everything you do. Tony Griff
Thank you.
Rider is my good bearded buddy who is usually in here
Ah,
on
all right.
Thursdays. He was down at PowerCon. He yeah. He's a big ramen toy supporter, to say the least. I
Thank you,
feel bad.
Tony.
I think I've gotten all of the head kits from you, but I'm like I haven't found the real estate for the big ones yet, except for this one coming.
I
But
think also, Dave, this one would really look good with two layers of sewer, right?
oh, for
So you can
sure.
actually buy 2 layers of the sewer and then
That'd be sweet.
put it up. So that would be really nice. Yeah.
That'd be cool. And again, like the fact that you're including hardware, like legit hardware, to reinforce this and make it that much more sturdy, I think also speaks volume to the quality that you guys put out. Because as a dude who has worked in construction and has worked on like set design and such, the fact that you're thinking through the fact that, okay, this needs to be held together, this needs to be something that's, rock solid. That's amazing. Because I know I have a whole shelf of Ninja Turtles over there with some street scenes and stuff, and I've actually reinforced all of them
Mm.
for whatever I have, just because you put a bunch of figures on there and it kind of makes, everything kind of starts to cave in a little bit. It just needs a little bit of extra structure in there.
Yeah.
Brian Merchant says, how long is the early bird price available for the Rev vans?
Up to 1st October.
There we go.
Yeah.
Josh chimed off in the chat too. Awesome. And if you want, we can also pop over to the website. We can run through a couple other things, but I mean, this has been this legitimately is one of those things where when people started talking about street scenes and sewer dioramas and everything, my brain went more along this way, more along stuff. You don't see this type of quality unless it's usually like something more bespoke. If you got guys like May 1979 Customs making something, or if you got, sorry, I dropped my water bottle. Or you got Drip Mode, or you got Vasco Toys, making you something. This is wild to see something of this. It's weird to say of this structural integrity coming out, as opposed to it being a little lighter, like going for that weight limit. This thing looks like it's built like a tank, which is great. No pun intended, because you're actually making tanks as well. Um, but I asked you what the biggest challenge was. What has been your favorite part about developing the Musk? Because it looks like you had a hell of a lot of fun making it.
Um, the favorite part is, I guess, the fan reaction, the
Yeah.
customer reaction. I think that's the favorite part because, this is for everybody, right? I'm doing this, and it is the guys on the internet, on the Facebook pages. It's all you guys who come up with all your comments and suggestions that help to put every single ingredient into this final dish. So yeah.
Oh, HT Cuban 4 asked, are we still getting two different color schemes, cartoon and street versions?
Okay, so for this one, I've decided upon evaluation that we'll just deliver one color, because having two colors really does complicate matters, even though it may seem simple. And we are not sure how to get the price point equal if I were to do the other version that's more realistic. So I just sort of average it out. I'm doing something now that is a little bit like that, a
Okay.
little bit like this in the middle, and then hopefully that will satisfy both crowds. Yeah.
It's definitely a happy medium, because I remember you mentioning that, but then I never saw anything come back around for that. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
great question, Cuban. But yeah. Oh, Shaggy says, did I see Clark Kent go into that phone booth? That's another thing. Like, you threw there's a lot of little extra love thrown in. I like, I honestly can't tell you the last time I saw a phone booth on the street, so that's pretty rad. But you have stuff like the fire hydrant and the access door, the fire escape, and the actual mail bin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's that those little things and the street grates and stuff are such fun details to throw in. Just it's added value, like that's stuff that makes me excited, because that's stuff that, you read a comic, you watch a cartoon, people are, knocking fire hydrants over, or tossing, the mailbox, or smashing into the phone booth. Like, I think that's just it adds a lot. It adds that bit of realism to it that you don't see in a lot of other things. Epic Badger says, you can tell it's an authentic city street. There's even a torso next to the sewers. Uh, but yeah, dude, like, this is so nuts. Like, I when I was going through some of the images, it had some of the Pantone colors and all that stuff, which I pop for one of my main jobs is being a comic colorist, so I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
good choice, good choice. Like, it seems kind of
Okay.
silly, but it's like, oh man, yeah, no, that's a great, that's cool. Like
Yeah.
you added a little color differentiation to also add more of that depth with your different assets and whatnot that are already provided. I know one of the things in the early prototype, or not prototype, but the early concepts and whatnot also was that kind of water canal that you had coming off of one of
Yep.
those.
We have that.
I was going to ask, is that still going to be like an option
Yes.
for it? Okay.
Yes, it is. In fact, that
Oh,
was
there
the
we go.
first thing that was. Yeah, that was the first thing that was tooled. This one is actually a 3D print.
Okay.
The first thing that was tooled. I in my final pictures, I actually got the reverse and wrong part, so it
Oh
goes the
no.
other way.
Yeah.
No, no. So what happens with manufacturing is like this: you give the factory something, but sometimes they will break. They will just reverse it. Right, left becomes right, right becomes left. So what happened was they reversed because there's two sides. One side is flat, one side is the profile. So it just
Yeah.
simply they put the profile on the other side. Again, they got
Yeah.
it right, just that they got it wrong, so
Yeah.
it became the other way. And I actually couldn't find the correct orientation part that I had stored somewhere. So I
Yeah. Yeah.
used the wrong part just for the photo taking purpose. So some
Oh no.
very
Yeah.
eagle-eyed collectors spotted it, and I explained myself that it is the other way, actually, not this way. Yeah,
Oh, okay. No, it was one of those things. I remember that on their initial concept, and I was like, "That's
yeah.
flipping cool." Oh, Brian Merchant asked, "What scale is the Musk best for? 6 or 7 inch?"
I believe 6-inch figures, 112 scale, 7-inch. It might be possible as well because characters and figures are not always the same
Yeah.
height. So who
Just a
knows? You
shorter
can just
sewer.
put it.
That's all.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
oh man, imagine what? Imagine what you do if for Halloween and the holiday seasons have figures trick or treating. That would be rad. Again, like the photo possibilities for toy photographers, this is huge because also like one of the things that you're integrating in is the sewer lid and stuff like that. Like that's
Yes,
stuff that is dope. Like it gives you an opportunity that maybe you can have something hiding there. You can mess around with it. Again, you killed it with adding just like little pieces, here and there, just to add that little extra oomph. Also, COJ, in case you didn't know, leave your comments and leave your questions because we'll be kind of doing more of a straightforward Q&A here in just a little bit. Um,
yeah. So if I may add, so if you see those little voids at the bottom,
yep,
the rectangular voids, those are the connection pieces where the connector piece connects. So if you
yep.
don't want it, there's actually a filler part to put it
Oh,
there.
okay.
But
Oh,
what
I
it
think
just
you have
means
those.
is that you can, yeah, what
You
it
have,
just means is that you can actually still connect
there we
the
go.
portions forwards, right?
Yeah,
So if you want to display it the other way, right? Instead of
yep,
this way, you're gonna do it the other way and extend the parts forward. You can do so. So you now have a, a squarish.
yeah. So you can
What's the
build
word?
it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's up to you guys to mix and match. Yeah.
So is it kind of like almost like a dovetail joint as far as like how it comes together, kind of like almost like a finger joint type thing?
Not dovetail. There is no
Yeah,
angle. It's
yeah.
straight. Everything is
Okay.
straight. So you
So it
just put it
plugs
straight. Yeah.
together. Yeah, 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 gotcha.
Yeah. Plugs together. Plugs
Right
together.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, we need a ladder. We need a ladder going down from the manhole.
There is a leather. There is a leather that's
Yep.
not shown currently. There is a leather.
There you go.
Yep.
Ask and you receive. Will there be a way to display it as two halves instead of the entire width as one unit?
If it's two halves, then you'll have to get two individual masks. But the
Okay.
super mask comes with all these other options. That's a bit of the marketing
Yep.
ploy, if I may, to encourage people to buy the whole thing.
Oh,
But
for
of
sure.
course, if you want to display it as two halves, then you must get two individual masks versus this.
The Super Musk. Right on.
Because this guy only has three vertical walls, whereas
Yep.
two separate masks gives you four vertical walls.
Okay. See, and that
Yeah,
that's again, it's cool that that option's there, especially for folks because they might not have the space for the whole shebang. It might just need to
yep,
be the half setup, which is great. I mean, again, like I spoke about earlier, the modularity of this is fantastic. It seems like something simple that should have been done long ago, but the fact that you are making a product that is adjustable to a collector's space Really speaks to how you cater to the fans, which is great. Um, I guess well, with the ladder being brought up, is there anything or what else is missing from this the prototype shots that folks might not know about?
This shot is missing the lamppost for
Okay.
the super mask. It is missing the leather, obviously, and
Yep.
it's missing the lights. So the other picture I think you have over there have
Yep.
all the lights installed.
There we go.
Yeah. So there we go.
And so are those just little like LED pill filaments that you can like just pop in, or are those going to be? Is there going to be a way to like
Yes.
hardwire those, or
No. So the thought about hard wiring it came into mind, but
okay?
again, because all the parts are separate, so to actually run wires through them would be
Hmm.
something we need to consider. How long if you only have half of it or something? So we
Yeah.
decided that all the modules are like our ramen racers infernal pieces where
Oh,
all
okay.
individual parts are powered by three LR44s. So it's a
Okay.
bit of a hassle there, but again, I haven't perfected the system, right?
Yeah.
So maybe somebody else can give ideas, and maybe on the next run we can do it better. But for what it is now, all these lights are with individual LR44, which is sold separately, by the way, because when I introduced this thing, it wasn't with lights actually. So we
Yep.
incorporated the lights, and those actually cost a little bit. So we'll be selling those as add-ons if you want to.
Okay.
Yep.
Right on. Yeah, I was gonna say I've used those for prop making and stuff in the past, so my brain was just going, "Wait, are there, like, is there something?" Because I see the port up here where you can plug them in, and I just saw that hole,
Yes.
so I was like, I wonder how that goes
Yes.
about.
Yes.
Oh, and Forgivens asks, Ace, when is the Musk or Super Musk going up for pre-order?
So this is something that the team, right? We at Ramen Toy will discuss properly and then come up with the actual date. We are currently foreseeing maybe uh, end of December or January.
Okay,
So we will confirm as and when we decide that when is the opportune time. Yep.
fantastic. Yeah, this is it's looking amazing, dude. Oh, there's the Ninth Archer was bringing up, and a ladder coming down from the fire escape.
Right.
There's the ladder right there.
Yeah. So this picture right here, they actually used the wrong part whereby you see the
Oh, no.
whole street section sort of wobbly because it's all printed. None
Yeah.
of this is using my ABS
Yep.
injected parts. So there's some miscommunication there. But in the end of the day, when I got the final picture of all the lights on, that's with the actual ABS parts. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And I like there's a little lamps or a lamp sign or street sign chilling
Yes.
out there. Maybe Bleecker Street's on there. Who knows? Uh, oh, ninth. There we go. Ninth got it. So I guess like so if the tentative plan going forward is launching by like end of year early next, do you have a timeline on like production or anything yet, or is that still off
So
of it?
if we start pre-orders in January, then we will expect this to be delivered by Christmas next year. Before
Okay.
we will push for the earliest delivery, and based on our experience, this if with any delays will actually run it into December. But if there's no delays, then we should expect to be faster. Just like how my bread car, it was previously announced, I think maybe in January, and
Yeah.
then we actually tooled it. We tooled it, and then now we're selling it, and then we're delivering it in January next year. So it's
Okay.
actually it's always about a year's time, 12 months from actual prototype to final delivery.
For
And
sure.
sometimes if there's some delay, for example, the ramen racer, so maybe we go and lose a few months, right? 2 3 months. So that was what happened with the ramen racer. It was sold around May of 2023, and then we deliver it this year around June, July,
Yeah.
August. So, you know, those months away from May. So that's it. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, no, it was just like that's the fascinating thing with the toy industry is it's that those timelines are always it varies. I mean, every product is different. Actually, there was two questions here for you. One from Too Much New Toys. He asks, or they ask, So if we need to buy two regular musks, if we want to split the diorama with the two halves, will the two halves fit seamlessly together like the Super Musk does?
Um, Not exactly, because if you look at the Super Mask, it has a section that is, look at that section over there by itself. Just go
Yep.
down a bit more with your hand, the little hand. Go
Yep.
down there and then move to the right. There you go. That little part there.
Yep.
No, the other side to the right.
This one.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, come down and then you see that little part, that section, that's the added section that comes with the super mask. That one, there we go. Yeah, that section. That section. See?
Okay. Yep.
Everything else is equal pieces, but that section helps to extend it because when the two parts come together, it moves away and creates that void. So that is the extra part that
Oh,
is
okay. So
included.
that's where the
Yeah.
extra wall would be.
Yes, but
Okay.
you have two masks by itself, then you have two middle walls,
Got it.
and if you decide to not have that middle wall, then you're missing that void that
Yeah. Yeah.
requires that piece. So yeah.
Okay. And then Josh Brown was asking, curious if there will be wall add-ons to continue to build the buildings higher.
Okay, so this is something that was conceptualized in my prototype that I showed last year. I actually showed another section of the wall, but again, once this happens, I need to have some contingency of actually, drilling holes in your wall or whatever that's the backing, so that
Yeah.
that section gets secured on. Otherwise, it's gonna just flex and fall off, right? Because that's just the nature of physics.
Yep.
It's not
It
exactly a very uh,
it becomes
secure. It's like ABS. It's all ABS pieces, and
yeah.
as you build it this way, and if you put the leathers up there, it's just gonna, by nature of the gravity, it's gonna just come down. So you need to
Yeah.
have something that fits onto your wall. Even your real shelves that you buy, there's always a connection piece that attaches it to the
Well,
wall so it doesn't fall down. Yeah.
yeah. It becomes a
So,
cookie sheet. Josh
yep.
Brown, more steel. Uh, that's that's where my brain went to the Wall XD product, just because
Yeah.
I'm like, well, like it's made like to have the stack because it has the same type of connection I think that you have going forward with the different panels and stuff. So that yeah, it'd be maybe a collaboration in the future. Who knows? Um,
Definitely.
but I guess like we've gone super in depth on the Musk, and I'll pop it over because this was one of the first images that I remember, but where you have the two
Okay.
sewers
Yep.
stacked up.
Yep.
I thought that was so
Yep.
stinking cool because you've seen sewer layers, sewer layer playsets, sewer themed playsets, shall we say, secret hideout playsets, and it's never two layers of sewer. So this is kind of neat
Mm-hmm.
because you have the street below the street below the street type thing going on.
Yep.
So maybe this is Rat King's lair chilling out down there in the old subsidies. That's friggin' awesome. Um, and so you were saying that the because of the connection system that you have, that is a possibility, right? Like you could actually build the super duper musk. I don't know what you'd call it,
Yes.
but
Yeah. This is definitely a concept of how you can actually stack it up together.
yeah,
So, we'll leave it to the imagination of you guys. Maybe you buy the super mask times two, and then you sell off one of the street section to your buddy who
and then
doesn't
just
need that, and
build
then
it.
you get it. So it's all about solving the problems, right? We are
Oh yeah,
solving the problems, making it, but we can't see every single aspect. There's going to be something that we miss. How are we going to do that? Imagine if we offered all these different SKUs, then it just confuses
yeah,
sometimes even ourselves and our manufacturing partner and our logistics. And it's something that we want to try to reduce, because the more things that you think about, you need more time to plan. And I
yeah,
think
yeah,
we've spent enough time. The fans are waiting, the collectors are dying to get it now. So if we just think about it, how we're going to get this by itself, and we're just going to delay the time. So please understand sometimes,
yeah.
we do things and it's not always
Like,
covering all facets of life and all your wants, but we do our best.
again, I think that's the amazing thing about the product though is it has that room. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about earlier. This is a product for the fans. This is something that you're going to see go bonkers once people get them in hand. Also, good morning, Munin. He is over on the other side of the world as well. So what's up? You all can have some coffee. I'm gonna have some tea. It's gonna be a fantastic way. Uh, but oh, Darth next would like to throw in the Mega Musk as an idea for that, and so two Super Musk with an extra street, eh? Says Brian.
Yeah, that's right.
So it looks like you got a few new customers there for your Ace. But
Yeah.
what other products would you like to talk about, man? I mean, we got a little bit of time left here still.
Well, it's
If
your show.
yeah, no, it's your brand, man. Like this is what I like to do on this channel. This is all about having a conversation and getting
Right.
getting people to know the people behind the toys. So that's always been something that I greatly enjoy as someone who's newer to working in the toy industry as a toy designer and stuff. It's great to get to know that, get to know folks, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't think that about that. There are amazing people behind these chunks of plastic that we play with. Oh, there we go. Where'd it go? Question: could we work on an addition to the depth of them? Oh, Dennis Spumoni, we covered that earlier.
Yes.
About the possibility of that down the road.
Yes.
So that is something in the wheelhouse right now. Shaggy says, off topic, but what do you have in your case behind you? What is in your collection? That's awesome.
Um, well, what I have, well, we just erected this showcase less than a month ago.
Yeah,
And finally, I was able to have a showcase in my adult life because this kind of showcase I can only dream of as a kid, and I
yeah,
never got it. Right? The closest I got was an IKEA a piece that had drawers at the bottom. So it's not actually a showcase. It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
showcase at the top, but it has drawers at the bottom, and
Mm,
then it doesn't have lights. Okay,
okay.
and the other closest I got to the showcase was a detail from IKEA as well. But again, I got the option without the lights, and it's
Yep.
too squarish. It doesn't have enough width and everything.
Doesn't
So
give you
finally, I
that
moved.
variation. Yeah.
Yeah, so finally I moved into this room, and because previously I was streaming from another room, and that had a bed just over there, and it was just very small and tight. Uh,
Yeah.
I vacated this room that also had a bed over here, so I took it out and I erected this showcase. It's actually on a ledge. You can see it's on a
Yeah.
ledge,
It
right?
it looks
Because this
gorgeous, man.
ledge, this
Yeah.
ledge is if I didn't have this ledge, I'll have more display space. But unfortunately, this ledge can't be removed. It's part of the building, so I
Yeah.
just put it up this way. And what I have there is basically two McFarlane Batmobiles with my CAC set. Okay,
Oh,
these are
nice.
two. And then I
Oh,
just
sorry.
got my Hollywood Hogan somewhere there.
Oh,
It's
right on.
actually yeah, Hollywood Hogan. And then all these are like Motu stuff. That layer, that section in the middle is Avengers products that I was doing before, like my collection. I actually, I actually did a custom Endgame Steve Rogers with a broken shield before the actual
Oh,
toy came out. Yeah, this was back in 2019, I think, when I did that. And
that's
then some
awesome.
Motu over here. Over here, I think it's also Motu and some Mass Rider stuff from Japan. On the other side, we have some Mayfax that I got from Japan for research purposes. And then we got our Machina shelf there, and then Ace of Aviation. And then on top, we got our 80s Commanders, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you're a Motu fan, very very clearly by some of the products that Ramen Toys has made. This was something that you was shared not too terribly long ago, and I remember seeing the prototype for at least the head at the at PowerCon. Is
Hmm.
this going to be available then?
Oh, yeah. This is the new hit for this year.
Okay.
So we've gone through a few iterations because the first time when we did it, I noticed that the sculpt of the cheeks here, the
Yeah.
jawbone was a little bit too pronounced, and then we sort of changed it a little bit, and then we finally got this tool, just waiting to get it onto product on the website. And I think, yeah, the whole thing came about from this particular. I think it's Revelations. Is that right, or is
Yep.
it
Yeah.
Rev? Yeah.
Revelations.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so when I saw the Revelations He-Man's head, I was like, okay, this needs work.
Yeah.
Even though you guys figure it out maybe to sort of squish the head like that with hot water and then
Yeah.
squish the head, but it doesn't really. I don't think that's the solution. So we sculpted something that we thought would look nice on the head, so on the
Right.
body. Yeah,
It was something that popped up. Specifically the New Adventures, putting it on the New Adventures body was the thing that was like, oh, like, that was so cool to see.
yeah,
I was that kid. I was the one kid who was like, oh, New Adventures of He-Man, this is great. And everybody thought I was nuts. Let's see, we got a couple more questions. Nick says you're like Santa. People can ask for all the things you will do some of them, but you can't do them all. Josh
yeah.
Brown says, still working on companion figures to the Marshall. I know there were prototypes at PowerCon that I wanted to steal.
Yes, so we showed off a gray prototype of 3.0 at PowerCon. So again, it has gone through some development because we wanted to somehow make the figure be able to look up with the big hair.
Hmm.
But I guess in the end, it's just physics. The big hair cannot allow you to really look up.
Yeah,
So at the end of the day, we just decided that this has got to go like that. So we finally painted out the prototype, and then we're just waiting to take some pictures when I'm, free, and then put it onto the website for pre-orders. So yeah, it's coming along. Took
doing
some
that.
time, but it's coming along. Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, I know we're discussing the freaking gorgeous Dio, but I'd like to appreciate how well set up your camera framing is. It's so clean and focused. Well done, Ace.
Oh,
There
thank you. It's a new lens that I got after trading in my old lens and camera. So some sacrifice for this particular Sony. I think it's a 1.4. Yeah, it's a f1.4.
right
Yeah.
on. I mean, currently, I mean, it looks like a bomb went off in here because literally we're going to be this whole room's getting emptied out in the next 2 weeks, and we're
Wow.
doing some construction down here, and I have some plans for a new camera, and I'm very excited to kind
Mm,
of be able to play around because nothing against the old Logitech, but it's time for an upgrade, time for some change.
yep.
But No Fate asks, are we going to be able to buy an extra fourth wall to separate the Super Musk into halves?
An extra fourth wall.
So so instead of if you bought two, you were
Hmm.
talking about for that center wall.
Okay. Okay.
So would you be
So I
able to
think
get
I think these are the things that I think my team need to sit down and discuss after we release this. What can we offer as the add-on parts? Because
for
if
sure?
we do it on the onset, it really is overwhelming for a team of three who has got to come up with the SKUs, the weight distribution, how much if you buy one wall, how much it's going to be on the website. And we don't want to text everybody the wrong way because again, the system does not recognize like if you add this on, if you add
Yeah,
200 grams to 1 kg, you actually have got to add on other aspects, or rather it okay, so wait, if you just bought one wall, it's going to add in the packaging weight.
yep,
So it's more than the weight of the wall
yep,
itself. But if you bought the wall by itself and add it into the shipment of the mask, then it's not going to be so heavy. But the
yeah,
system doesn't know that, and there is no way, at least that we know now, that we can do a if then else if.
yeah,
So it's gonna be we're creating toys, not programming, so
yeah,
it's difficult. So hopefully we can let once the dust settles, the
yeah,
product is out there, we start to see what option packs we can give to people, just like how the ramen racer, right? The ramen
yep,
racer is supposed to be modular. You can actually buy tires and wheels and all these things, but we are not at a stage yet to really plan out the whole menu that at one go you can have all these different things to add on. It takes time to add to the menu. So that is the limitations of a small setup like us.
for sure. Darth said if you do add-on walls and whatnot, you could call it muscular, like Musk and modular.
Okay.
There,
That's a
that-
great name.
there you know. Let's see. Winter Star is patiently waiting for Titanium Titans. Very excited for that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There was another question. Oh, Darth Nexus asked, are any chance you'd ever want to do anything in the Power Ranger space since Hasbro left a gaping hole in that market?
I think highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Sorry. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. An option to be able to separate the Super Musk would be something I'd pay extra for. Says too much, which we just covered. Esteban coming in with, will the vans be big enough to fit the Mezco turtles?
Um, I surmise yes.
Yeah,
I guess the turtles are not really that big, right? They're not
they're
that tall.
they're pretty small.
So
I will
yeah,
say,
so
with everything else that you've shown, like
yeah,
with them and whatnot, I gotta believe those turtles would fit in just fine in there.
yeah.
Um, oh, Darth Nexus, no worries, had to ask. Brian Merchant says, any thoughts on a modular Hall of Armor? I feel like
I think that's already being done somehow, and
there's
we don't
two
want
or
to
three
get
people.
into Marvel Iron Man space. Like I said, I'm trying to do stuff that is off the beaten path, and whatever that is currently the Iron Mans, the Optimus Primes, the most lucrative stuff. I'm not really interested in those things. Yeah,
Oh, again, you're filling voids. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you have
yeah.
some of the, like, I am painting some heads for a regular COJ member in here by the name of Tano, that they may or may not be in an alphabetical team of sorts,
Mm,
to go with the van. Just throwing that out there. Oh,
nice.
George Savory asks, "Hi Ace, in the future, will you consider making the JP Explorer from the first Jurassic Park?" Ooh,
Um,
that'd be
that could
so
be
specific.
possible. It's just that yeah, we'll see. Everything. If I have an interest in it, maybe there's a chance. And I think that I showed some interest with the Jurassic Park gates that we conceived but didn't execute yet because we were pitching for a license.
Mhm.
And since we didn't hear back from the licensor, we thought that at the moment the subject may have sort of died down,
Yeah.
and it's might not be in our best interest to carry on doing it anyways at the moment. And we'll see, right? Maybe the next wait for the next movie to be out when there is enough. Again, not to contradict myself, right? We do need some kind of buzz for these kind of
Mhm.
projects in order to make sure that we are selling it versus taking a big risk, and then the reception is not exactly what we planned. So, and of course, we definitely want to license it as much as possible these days. There are still talks ongoing, so we just want to take it one step at a time.
And I think that's all you can do. We got let's see, we got two last questions just to wind down the convo. Jamie Lynn says, "We all know Ramen Toys for making cool products inspired by some of our favorite retro toy lines. Can we expect any original properties eventually, or is that not something you're interested in?" Well, you have Titanium
Uh,
Titans coming up.
yes, so by fluke, original IPs are something that we are seriously working on because Titanium Titans was actually meant to be the third party name for Silverhawks, but that evolved into our own IP, a collaboration with Riot Press. So that is firmly in development. Patrick over at Riot Press has developed the storyline, the comics, maybe a short animation. I'll leave it to him. We are, on the other hand, will develop the toys that he has conceptualized by way of the designs and then sculpted by the talented Shu Long that he
Right.
is employing to help. In fact, he is a resident sculptor, I believe, for Hasbro, so that we have great assistance on our side to make all these figures. And so, yeah, we are excited to see how Titanium Titans performs when we do the Kickstarter next year. And along the way, we are developing our own IPs, two more that I actually, you know, I like to not have unfinished business unfinished. So once I was doing the Machina stuff, even though we are looking at a legit way, we are now trying to make Machina our own IP with new vehicles, new transformation, new characters, new designs. That's something that we are working on, and hopefully, I can have something to announce next year, as well as Commanders 2086. So
Oh, very.
Commanders 2086 is meant to be a original IP that would bring us away from 80s Commanders, which is a third party of Centurions. Commanders 26 would be 100 years after Centurions, right? 86,
Yeah.
2086. And then this would capture some essence of like Starcom, and then using a bit of Centurions tech, but with a twist. meaning that when they have their when we design Commanders 2086, these guys actually ride in their vehicles, and then their parts of their vehicles would combine with them to become armor that they go into combat. So it's a bit of the same, but not the same, because in our case, the commanders are actually in their vehicles, riding the vehicles, not like Centurions having it on and then it becomes a somewhat of a vehicle, but it's not really a vehicle, it's just armor. So they're actually riding vehicles, and then that vehicle, again, like Batman on his Batwing just
Yep.
destroyed. So heroes tend to get their vehicles destroyed for some reason. So once the vehicle is destroyed, they can sort of eject, and then parts of the vehicle combines with them, and that forms Commanders 2086. Yeah,
It opens up for a new toy to be made.
yeah, yeah.
That actually, Jamie Vaughn was asking about Machina. Let's see.
Yes.
Is there any interest in doing a pack of Motu weapons that Mattel hasn't gotten to, i.e., Filmation and the Sword of Power?
We are actually working on a weapons rack.
Okay.
So I will have that. Yes, I actually have developed a weapons rack, and the weapons are meant to fit Motu Origins characters. So I'll have that painted up and up for pre-order soon. It's not something that's really on top of the agenda of importance, so we just sort of put it on the site. But I have actually developed that. I've shown pictures on the Facebook site as well. Yeah.
Andy Stute says, "You just made my night." And I guess we'll end with this question. That's how Dave looks without the beanie. Oh, hi MCR. Uh, Jamie Lynn is popping huge for the Centurions and Starcom. Oh my gosh, this just popped in. Those toys sound like a ton of fun. I hope we get them. What up, Diz? Any interest in making vehicles for the Metal Slug line? I know you guys would kill it.
Well, again, I need to know the subject, and Metal
Yeah.
Slug, I've only heard about it. Don't really know the subject. I think it's a game, right? It's a computer game.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
you would
So
have.
okay.
I'll put it this way: you would have a ball designing those,
Okay.
because they're kind of wild. But we'll end with Masters of None question, because I think it's a good one to go out on, because it's not necessarily what you are making, but what would you want to make, and it is, what is your dream Dio / vehicle that you want to make if
Wow.
only there was a market? What is that dream project for you, Ace?
Um, my dream project would be a combination of Masters and Thundercats, because as a kid, I think I mean, as a kid, sometimes you don't really know if you actually saw it or you
Yeah,
actually imagine it, right? So, for example, like I said, I thought I saw a Macross super deformed joke machine in VF1D colors, but actually,
yeah,
there's no such thing that was made. It was only the Skull Leader, the
yeah,
Max and Melia colors. There's not even the original Rick Hunter white in the
yeah.
in the joke machine form. But somehow I thought I saw it. So I thought I saw a Thundercats playset whereby you put the Mumra in, you turn the tomb, and it becomes the other big
Mumra, yeah.
Mumra. I'm not sure if that's something that I imagine or that's actually a place like that. So actually, I'm really into all these Dungeons and Dragons, mystical stuff, because with mystical stuff, you can just make anything up,
You
right?
can have fun
So,
with it. Yeah.
uh, yeah. And then when I was younger, I like to look at all these lone wolf game books. Turn the page, whatever, choose, and then with the
Choose your own way,
tiger,
or
the,
choose your
the the
adventure.
ninja. Yeah. So things like that, into a play set that actually you can play and sort of choose your adventure and make things happen. That's what I think would be something that I would like to develop as a pet project.
That'd be awesome, man. I mean, you
Yeah,
got to put it out there, right? You put it out there into the universe, and it might come back around to you.
yeah.
But real quick, before we wind this down, I do want to just say thank you for coming on, Ace.
Hmm.
It's been a long road to get here, but you are always welcome to come back anytime. Maybe we see you on the marathon stream this November.
Ah,
But
great.
I have thrown all of Ramen Toys social media info and whatnot in the video description below. Make sure to go check them out on all of their platforms. And Ace, I'm gonna leave the floor to you real quick. Any last words, man? Here, boink. It's all you, man.
Well, thank you once again, Dave, for inviting me to your show. Again, it's my apologies for postponing the time to get on day month after month. due to the mask. You want to talk about the mask? So yeah, finally we're here. I appreciate it very much. And I definitely look forward to being back on the show, hopefully with the actual mask to show you guys the actual product. So until then, we'll keep on slogging and working out the best stuff for you guys. And hopefully, maybe Joe Fest or PowerCon next year, I'll see you guys in the flesh.
Heck yeah, man. So again, thank you so much, man. I'm glad we finally made it happen. We'll be in touch, of course. Real quick shout out to the COJ as always for being a part of the conversation. Please throw a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff on the video. It really does help out. I'll be reposting with a couple more images and stuff for the replay on Saturday. So check that out. And yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow for Chop and Chop, and then Gripping and Ripping on Wednesday. So you know where you can find me. You now know where you can find Ace. And yeah, until next time, folks, thank you so much for stopping by. Be good, be kind. Much love from Minnesota. Good night, everybody.